That means you have to behave.
And the fun being good.
We are live now, okay? But behave.
And the fun being good.
I'm not even going to do an introduction. Just start talking. All right. Good evening. Welcome back to the Not So Perfect Bigfoot Show. I'm really excited tonight. The show's been a long time in the making. This is actually my first time meeting Angie and Bud. And let me tell you, behind the scenes, they are hilarious. And we are so glad to have them as a part of the family. And you know what I say? We threw a bone out and we fed some strays and we got to keep them now, Bud and Angie. You're part of the family.
Sweet.
And yes, my co-host tonight is Pat. You guys know her as a Northern Blue Eye. I always get your name wrong, Pat. I talk to you every day. Northern Blue Eye.
No,
And,
blue-eyed northern.
Okay, good, close enough.
It's good
Good
enough.
point.
Good enough.
I
That's
told
called
you we
words.
treat our family bad around here. And I want to say hey to Bobby, Hannah, Phyllis, John, Jeff, Joe. If I missed anybody, thank you for jumping on tonight. One of the things I really like about Bud and Angie is that their life together. They're not only man and wife, but they are a team. And so we are going to have a little bit of a love story tonight, y'all. Are you guys getting any back feed from me?
I was hearing
No.
a little bit.
Oh, was you?
Yeah, it sounds just like it's repeating. Did you hear?
I didn't hear it.
You guys hear it now? Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So, Angie,
Yes.
tell me how you met, and let's start the story there.
Okay. Well, we both worked. He doesn't work there no more, but we both worked at a local prison here, and that's how we crossed paths. And it's been an adventure for sure ever since. And that's been 9 years ago. So
I believe the words were goofball. Nah, but she said
A
you walked
goober.
in the office. Goober.
Goober.
Okay,
That's my
close enough.
pet name for him.
Yeah.
It said you were always coming in, just being
Hilarious.
a goober and making her laugh. And she said she was hooked ever
That's
Really?
since.
won my heart was his sense of humor.
Well, I had to escort inmates up here. I don't know if I'd went in her office or not.
Well, just out in the hallway, but we found reasons to talk.
That's it. So you've been together for 9 years, married 7. Your wedding was, I love that story. Tell me the story on that.
Let me tell you, because if he tells you, he'll say I made him marry me. But we went to Branson, Missouri, for a vacation, and while we were there, we were like just goofing. Well, he proposed while we was there. It was so romantic. It was on the Branson Belle, which is a big dinner boat, and I seen him going off and talking to the people, and I'm like, what is he up to? Well, then he came back, and we went up on the deck at their intermission, and we were on the end of the boat, and I was looking over at the way the wheels spun and all the water, and I thought it was so cool. And I turned back around, and he was on one knee, and it was so romantic. And then when we went down, we had all these people around us just staring at us, and he came in and gave thumbs up, and they all started clapping. So they all knew. But so we talked about it and said, well, hey, just for the heck of it, if they don't require a waiting period in Missouri, stop it. We'll get married tomorrow. But if there's a waiting period, then that's a sign we need to just wait till we get back home. Well, sure enough, there's no waiting period. So we went in, and they not only gave us our certificate and everything, they gave us the name of the sweetest little old minister. What was he, like 85?
Yeah, I felt bad we had to lie to him.
Of course,
He
he had to say, you guys have never had relations, right? And we're like, no.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
But we got married right there in our condo out in the courtyard. It was beautiful. And our witnesses were, one was a housekeeper, one was the lawn man that took care of the landscape maintenance, and
a couple office people.
Yeah, and we had our little ceremony right there. And when we went back up to our room, they had all got together and had us a bottle of champagne and a card, and it was awesome. It was very, very romantic, spur of the moment. But when you know you found the one, you know you found the one. Yes, I'm talking about you.
No, I was just wondering.
Yes, bud. Listen, bud. She's a wise woman, especially with those glasses on. Listen, but that defines who you guys are as a couple. It defines who you are as a unit and a team. Just having, people from the hotel there and the staff there, and you kind of embrace that. That's just says a lot about who you are, and the spontaneous of it is just awesome.
And it's been an adventure. That was the beginning of our adventure together, and it's been nonstop since.
And I know when I was talking to you on the phone the other night, he was in the background. I don't know what she sees in me. I don't know what she sees. It's like, bud.
Yeah, he's just looking around for looks. We don't pay much attention to him.
Yeah, that's it. If I don't say what she agrees with, I get beat later after the show signs off.
Here we go,
But-
Pat.
Yeah.
If you look in the marriage agreement, paragraph 4, subsection C, she's allowed to do that. You need to read your documents a little bit better.
I did, and I don't think she's seen the part where it says she must obey. Oh,
There might be a board meeting going on.
hey, any guys in the chat, I need you on my side.
Wait, I think they deleted that in the 1950s. Poor Bud, when you get off here, you're going to have 2 raccoon eyes, buddy.
Yeah. I told people about it at the meet and greet we just had, and they didn't believe me.
Trophy husband.
Trophy husband, Phyllis.
Phyllis.
Yes, he
Well, I
is.
tell you what, as far as those raccoon eyes, a little foundation and a little bit of powder goes a long way. We got you, Angie. We got you.
I thought maybe you could see it on me now, or she beat
Oh
me.
my
No,
God.
no.
Beat him.
That's just reflection, sir. That's just
That's right.
reflection.
It's the lighting in here.
Nice try, Bud. Nice try. So you guys were together for 7 years before you got
We were together 2 years
years.
Yeah.
2
before
years,
we
my math.
spontaneously got married. Yes.
That was some of that Robinson County math. I'm sorry.
That's
Um,
okay.
And you started doing hobbies. You actually have a Facebook. Is it a Facebook or a YouTube called
We have a YouTube
Fun,
channel.
Fun Adventures with, I always say Bud and Angie. I always want to say Angie and Bud because that's the way it should be.
Well, I let him. We put his name first.
Yep.
That's where you leave him unsupervised. He does that.
Uh-huh. That's right.
You don't do this to get monetized. You do it because you celebrate your life together.
Yes, and like you said, someday look back when we're 20 years down the road and we've got grandkids. Look back and say, look what we used to do when we could still get around, and
I was watching. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that, and all of our adventures, our family was kind of always curious. Well, where'd you go? What'd you do this time? So we started taping them and thought, well, it's just easier to put them on and then let them watch them that way. So, and my sister's always, every time I have my one sister, I'll be like, well, you going on another adventure? I need some more Bud and Angie show. So it's just fun. It's a fun time.
Right.
I was watching one video and you guys were in the car and you're just giggling like you're a bunch of teenagers. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And it could have been YouTube because I follow you on both. But I was like, the energy there. And you guys were on a trip and you're just giggling. Just like you're a bunch of teenagers in love. I'm like, that's just sickening.
Was we going to Buc-ee's?
Oh yeah, geez.
Yep, Buc-ee's.
Oh,
Every
gosh.
time there's a Buc-ee's gas station,
Within 100 miles.
we have to go.
Yeah.
And he loves it as much as me. Don't.
Oh
let him
yeah.
fool you.
Woo wee.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Oh, you'll be addicted.
Am I missing something in life?
Oh yes, it's like a must do at least once in your lifetime.
Buc-ee's. Okay. My husband's always on the road. I bet you he's gone to a Buc-ee's and just
I bet he
told me
has.
about
Sure.
it.
Yes.
Okay. Just hadn't told me about it. I am so on to that. So you guys started doing hobbies. You got her doing stuff you never thought you would do, right, Angie? Like
Oh
hunting.
yeah, hunting. I love deer hunting. When we first got together, and he's always been an avid deer hunter. He would be like, "Woman, I'll tell you now, from October through, January, you won't see me much. And I'm like, well, why? And he said, because I'm going to be out hunting. I'm like, well, then so am I. So I started going with him and just kind of watching how it went. And I thought, I can do this. And sure enough, my first time out by myself, my first year out by myself, I got me a nice 8-point buck. And by the time he got over to me, I was out there doing my happy dance over top of the buck, celebrating. So, and then he yelled at me because I forgot to put my hunter orange on when I went back out. But point is, I thought, okay, I can do this. This is cool.
Yeah,
What I'm hearing is you out hunting. What I'm hearing is you out hunting him that day. Is that what I'm hearing? Good.
He still has the biggest buck so far because he tells me if I kill a bigger buck than his biggest, we're getting a divorce.
Yeah, that ain't loud.
I'm willing to risk it. I mean,
I need to quit putting her in my best places.
You probably could put her in the worst place, and she's just going to charm them right in, bud. Just like she did you.
Would you say happy wife, happy life? There you go.
I just said I'm in front of you.
See, I don't know what to do.
Telling you.
Hey, I Miss Pat's husband. I mean, me and him get on great. He's a big smart ass, smart butt too. So.
She knows him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the two of them together. Whew.
Oh yeah. I mean,
me and Pat. It's no wonder we take off in the woods by ourselves.
That's right.
I'd rather deal with Bigfoot than them two sometimes.
I love that. But you know what? I love Joe too. But I get where you have to have a break from him because he is a handful, Pat.
Yes.
I didn't say that, Joe.
Yes, he did, Joe. He's doing sign language. We got a private chat right there.
He'll be apologizing. He'll be apologizing on the phone tonight. No, I was just kidding, man.
Poor bud. We set you up, buddy.
That's right.
I'm used to it.
He's got it coming.
He worked in the prison 31 years.
Yeah.
He's used to being abused.
Yeah.
I would say, well, Joe's been with Pat for a while. She set him straight a time or two, so he's used to it. Just give it to him straight up. We've prepped him good for that abuse. Let's just have no mercy on Joe.
That's right.
So, at what point did you bring that you believe in Bigfoot up there? Your beautiful wife there is just.
Well, you've told he would talk about it at work. You tell him how everybody would tease you.
Oh yeah, for my last 25 years there, they was find Bigfoot yet, and I'm like, no, I ain't been looking yet, but he's out there. And they're like, okay, whatever, you're crazy. I'm like, hey, at least crazy's fun.
Crazy is fun.
And they were like, you want to date? You want to date Bud? He's all into the cryptids, and I'm like. So, I mean, that just makes him the fact that he didn't care what people thought about him, that just made me that more attracted to him because he's such a strong man that he didn't care. He is who he is, him or not.
I've been through too much crap in my life since I was a kid, and I told myself once I retire, I'm doing what I want to do and whatever makes me happy, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah,
I like that.
I care less what people think. Except for my neighbors, if I don't mow the yard and it gets along, then they call the patrol.
Then someone like me comes in and says, "I post your yard." Diane said, "Look, stop giving Angie such a hard time. She must be a good wife to put up."
See, everybody takes her side.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So you said you were given a hard way, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Angie was telling me Bigfoot's always been a part of your life since you were a kid, right?
Supposedly, yeah. I mean, supposedly I grew up around them, and they was always on my grandparents' farm, and I don't know. I've always told Angie, I said I think I had some kind of protection spell, charm, something over me because, I mean, I've been sleeping in the woods, 2-3 nights in a row since I was 11, by myself, but, I've gotten scared and Grandpa said the minute you ain't scared of doing something, you better quit. So, I mean, to me, that's normal. I mean, everybody's going to be scared, but I mean, it was just part of what I was taught. And, you just go and do it anyway if you enjoyed it. And supposedly I was around them the whole time, but I mean, some of the stories I was told growing up, and some of the stuff that happened. Yeah, I mean, have I ever seen one? No. But now both of us can't say that.
But when you know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, I was raised out. They never told me a lie, even if it wasn't good for me. If I was told something, even if it wasn't good for me, I took it as the truth.
Yeah, there was no reason for your grandma to lie to you about
grandma,
it.
grandpa. Yeah. I mean, my grandparents raised me basically when I was a kid. So
they did a good job because you're a good man.
Yes.
As far as protection, I agree with the protection, but you do know they sent a little. They know crazy people too, right? And they're probably looking at you saying,
I figured they're about like Angie just felt sorry for me.
Angie, do the rib thing, Angie. Do the rib.
Yeah,
stop it.
No, then he'll say I beat him more. See,
that's what makeup's for, dear. So you got taunted because of your belief, and that's. I'm glad you mentioned that because I mean, my husband has always been a Bigfooter, and he worked law enforcement, and they would say, "Hey, Sarge, let me get a picture of you," and they would be holding a Bigfoot up in the background, and he just laughed and said, "Give me a copy." Yeah. But I can imagine as a kid too, and something's there because if my grandma tells me something, it's fact.
Yeah.
I always say grandparents and dogs don't know how to lie; they just give it to you raw, and that's got to be hard. How did that affect you as a kid? Because I find that kind of, when you were saying it was, you had a little bit of emotion there. I mean, good spirit about you, but I could tell there's some things that probably you got tired of or had to deal with.
Not really. Most of mine, I mean, when I'm out by myself, I mean, even today, when I'm out by myself in the woods, to me, that's the closest I feel to God than I ever have. If I'm 20 feet up a tree or sitting in a bush by a fence rail or just out walking in the woods looking for mushrooms or
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yellow root, bloodroot, anything like that. Everybody says, "Oh, don't go by yourself." Well, that's my favorite. I mean, you can just feel stress dripping off of you. I mean, you're taking a chance, but I've probably beat the odds of living past 15 anyway. I don't know how many times already.
Wow. You're a little bit rowdy and a lot lucky and covered by the grace of God.
Mm-hmm. But I just love going out, and like I said, when I first met her, I'm like, well, she's gonna be I better not say that. I won't get in trouble. But she's gonna be one of these women who just want to stay home, watch soap operas, and play with her makeup and stuff instead of. And when I met her, she's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I wouldn't mind going out with." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll take her out once or twice. She'll get cold or she'll be hungry and she'll be like, heck with this, I'm going home." Yeah.
Then I was like, "Give me the gun."
Yeah. She loved everything I did. Hunted, fished, camped, and now, I mean, that's the biggest reason for Bigfoot. And I mean, we love camping. Well, I always loved camping, and she done it with me, and she loves it.
I love it. I love being outside.
We just added two together, and then and we just have a ball.
Mm-hmm, we do, and we meet wonderful people.
Yeah,
lifetime friends.
The people we meet, because we love going to meet and greets. Usually, when we go to the meet and greets or some type of Sasquatch event, like we went to Tennessee to the, what was that called? Squatch Out.
The Squatch Out, yeah.
Yeah, Squatch Out, Tennessee, and then we went down to the Alabama, the Talladega meet and greet. Woodwalkers and Mark and Rebecca's Cedar Creek Gardens. Yeah, they sponsored that, and that's why we love going on things, meeting other people to do this that that don't think you're nuts anyway, which don't bother me anyway. But still, I mean, we just love meeting new people, and which the only bad thing about them things is so many people that go, you can't meet everybody.
Right?
You can't talk to everybody. I mean, man, there are so many people that we didn't get a chance to talk to. So.
Yeah. Flat Rock says hi, everybody.
Hey, Flat Rock.
Hi, Kenny.
Flat Rock's in the house. No, let's step back for 1 minute. When you were a kid, looking back now, did something happen that makes sense now, like sounds or seeing?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, some of the calls I'd hear, and like I started out squirrel hunting when I was about 9, somewhere in there, and on all the way up till I started bow hunting. And then I'd be sitting in the woods there before daylight, and I'm like, well, why's Mr. Irwood out mending fence already? I mean, man, it's too early for him to even see the fence, let alone be mending fence, riding fence, or Charlie Mead, our neighbor on the other side. I'm like, what the heck's he doing already, banging trees and stuff and moving trees? 'Cause we had logging roads all through the properties, and Grandpa and there was 3 other farmers, and they had about 1,000 acres I could run, and every one of them, I'd say, Mr. Coburn, you care if I go back and hunt your place? He goes, boy, you don't need permission. Go back and just do whatever you want. Just don't leave no trash. Well, nowadays, good luck trying to find something like that nowadays. And so I had close to 1,000 acres to run probably.
But there was an area you said your grandpa forbid you to go.
Yeah, down behind our hog lot, Grandpa had it went down into a good ravine and real thick down dark deep holler there, and he'd always tell me, he said, boy, you can go anywhere you want on my farm and all these other guys' farms, because I'd help them do baling hay and stuff through summer and all that. But he said, you just can't go down behind the hog lot and over towards Charlie Mead's property and all the way back to Mr. Coburn's place. I'm like, okay, heck, who needs that little plot of land when you have 1,000 acres?
Mm-hmm.
So I obeyed, and Grandpa taught me you never shoot anything that you don't eat. You don't waste it. So one day I was 11 or 12 years old and got my first bow, and I'd practice every day. I had 2 arrows, and I'd shoot 2 arrows and walk up and get them. And I'd be out there from the time I got off the bus till dark, just practicing. And finally deer season came, and I shot me at the time I thought it was a big buck. I was really proud of it. So I was all excited, and that sucker, I hid a little bit back, and that sucker went right behind the pond, right down below the hog lot, and into that place Grandpa told me not to go. And so there I am in a dilemma. I'm like, well, do I go back where I'm told not to go and get a switching, or do I shoot an animal, not get it, and get a switching? I'm like, well, I'm going to get a switching either way. I might as well get it, And the funny thing is every time I'd come up out of the holler there, Grandma would say, hey, boy, did you see any teepees back here? I'd be like, Grandma, they killed all us Indians off. I said, they either killed us off or ran us out west. There ain't no TV, because me and Grandpa loved Westerns. We'd sit and watch Westerns. And so I'm thinking a real teepee, So finally, like I said, I was chasing that deer back here, or tracking him. And I see these, looks like a teepee without the skins wrapped around it. And I'm like, I wonder if that's what she means with teepee. So I found the buck, got it and everything, and finally came up out of the holler. And I told Grandma, I said, Grandma, seen one of them teepees back here, and she went off. Yeah, she goes, you're never going back here again. I said, I don't think so. Oh. Well, I didn't say it to her. I was like,
well, I mean, she obviously knew what the teepees are, and you hear a lot of that in the community now. I mean, you had it right there in your backyard. Do you think like the pig fen or pig area was there? So
yeah, we had chickens too. And
well, tell them how your grandpa would send a pig down there.
Oh yeah, every time we'd go get a hog to butcher, for the year, or to get trade with another farmer, and if we wanted to trade some beef or some pork or something like that, we just that's the way people looked out for each other back then.
Yeah.
And so every time we'd go down and get a hog to butcher, Grandpa would usually a little one, some not even a little bit bigger than a pig, but just send one down there. I'm like, Grandpa, what the heck what are you doing that for? He goes, did I tell you, boy? Like, hey, you don't need to know if I ain't telling you. Shut up. That's what
it was like a sacrifice or something. And then send it down.
And then since I started watching YouTube and hearing I started putting things together. I'm like, maybe that's why. Because Grandma and Grandpa always told me once they let me in on it, they always, because they came down from right at the border of West Virginia, Kentucky area, down around, I think it's Pikeville, I think they called. Mm-hmm. Right on the border there. And Grandma said when she was a kid back in the early 1900s, said it was just a common thing that folk down there it was just oh, you seen another one? Oh, okay, yeah, no big deal. Said when she was a little girl. And then they had them up, she said they seen them up here. So, but I never did see one.
Wow.
And I lived in them woods, I mean, I didn't have a neighbor for 2 miles, so that's all I had to do is go. I called it my backyard. So Grandma would go in the backyard,
That's the best way to grow up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it didn't. I don't think it hurt me. Did it?
No, stop that.
But I've been cultured. I think I've had the out in the boondocks culture. Then I've had some because I'd try to come and visit mom when school was out, for the summer. And sometimes I don't make it 2 weeks, sometimes a month of that. And I just miss living out there. So, but so I had a little bit of the
country and a little bit of the city, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, something like that. So
Where we grew up, Bud, we might see 1, maybe 2 cars on the road a day.
yeah,
And even though, we were kind of well off, our parents still made us work in the tobacco fields, and we would still have a garden big enough to feed the community.
Oh yeah, I remember our garden, man. And I wouldn't call it a garden, man. I mean, I bet it was acre and a half. And this is we'd be out there on our hands and knees. Of course, I'd always take a washcloth, I'd pick a tomato and wipe it off, start eating as I'm picking weeds and rocks and going down them rows, man.
Let me ask you this. How many times did you chomp down on a sour weed?
A what?
A sour weed with the red tips?
And we kept ours pretty good. We never had I never heard of a sour weed. Is it called something else?
If you drive down the road and you look in the fields in North Carolina, I guess in the South, and you see the tall weeds with the red tips, we call those sour weeds.
Okay, does it look like a goldenrod, maybe? Something like a goldenrod?
Red.
Okay.
Yeah, and we used to pick those and we chew on them all day.
Oh, okay.
And they had like a sour taste to them. And then we would have blackberries straight off the vine. And if we would pick enough, Miss Molly that lived down the road would cook blackberry pies.
Oh,
but we could fish, go down to the river. It was a good life, and I wish kids could experience more of that.
Yeah, I ain't had no homemade blackberry cobbler or squirrel gravy. Man, dandelion greens. I ain't had none of that since Grandma died. I mean, man, I miss that. But
I'll go pick some weeds and throw them in a pan for you.
Yeah, she probably poisoned me.
You got a good wife there. You got a good wife there.
This is all brand new to me when I met him because I grew up military brat.
Yeah.
So we was always on Army bases. So I was never exposed. That's probably why Bigfoot never came up. I was never exposed to country living, so to speak. We was from between Fort Knox, Kentucky and Germany. Every 3 years we rotated. So when I moved up here and got introduced to this whole thing, I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be outside doing this stuff. I love it.
Exactly. You got the right one for that. And Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot said blackberry cobbler. Do you remember it would be a cup of milk, a cup of sugar, a cup of butter, and a cup of blackberries, and you mix them all together and bake them, and it was cuppa. That was your blackberry cobbler.
Ooh, now that I could try and do that for you.
Put you some vanilla bean ice cream on it. That's why I can't fit in my pants anymore. That's some good eating right there. But we used the good times, Bud, good times. And Angie, you get to experience that now, better late than never.
Absolutely.
That alone is worth keeping him around, I do believe.
Yes, I'm telling you, if you, as he always likes to say, if you ever need someone killed or
to
survive the apocalypse.
That's what Max was.
Well, no,
go ahead. It's fine.
No, it was. That's because he's prior military too. So
that's fine. Actually, there's a lot of Dogman and Bigfoot around the military bases. So you get a lot of story. I want to read this from Diane before we move on. It says, I remember picking blackberries when I was little with my mama in the hot sun, and she would make you wear socks and long pants so you wouldn't get chiggers. And she made the best blackberry pie. Yes. But you always found the copperheads and the rattlesnakes and the blackberry bushes. They loved it. But how old were you when your grandparents finally told you what was out there?
if I remember right, it's around probably 14, 15 when they just came out and, you know, 'cause I overheard them talking. I'm sorry?
Did you kind of know, or what brought that about? Did something happen?
Well, I had an idea, but I was like, But now, one thing I can remember real well is I used to watch In Search Of. I mean, I was always into the weird and wild and crazy things, and you know how some show go on the commercial, and before they do, they'll show what's coming up the next segment. Well, I seen they were showing that, they call it the Patty now, Patty film. They were showing that Bigfoot running across that creek, and I ran in the kitchen, Grandma, come here, you got to see this. And after they let me know that they was real, and so I asked her, I said, hey, watch out. I said, is this what you're telling me is back here in the holler there? And she's like, I mean, she's sitting there drying dishes, and she's like, yep, that's it. Turned around and walked off like no big deal. I said, yeah, that's it. I was like, wow. You know? Wow. Yeah, like no big deal. Yeah, that's them.
So was it different going back in the woods? Were you like more vigilant, or?
No, like I said, you know, being by myself, I tried to, you know, when you're a young kid, I was into playing Army and Green Berets, and that's what I wanted to do and all. And so I just get more stealthy. I had to start belly crawling through creeks and peeking up over the banks, you know, and you know, just, you know, for deer, animals, anything, you know. So I just try to be more stealthy. And as a kid, I'm sure I'm just loud as heck, you know.
Pyromedic said that must be how he found
I found Angie. Yeah, I was calling it.
I love him. Oh, William Robert, let me say this, because you know I gotta. We had to watch for alligators down in the Delta when I was growing up. There's even more of them now. We have them out here where we live at too, William.
Oh, wow.
My kayaking buddy. I weren't wearing my glasses one day. Let me tell you, my buddy I grew up with had a Class A Bigfoot site, and we grew up on the same road. Lots of crazy stuff happened on that road, and we would go kayaking together. And you know, you're raised where if a man has an issue, got to let the man try to solve his own problem, right? Well, we're kayaking down the Lumber River, and he flips his kayak, and I had a GoPro, but I was like turned away from it, and I hear ploosh right in the water. And in my mind, I'm thinking I should probably go help him. But me trying to be considerate, I'm like, well, he's a man, so if I go help him, then I'm insulting his you know, his manhood.
Yeah.
He'll get back, you know, just stand up, get back in the kayak. What I didn't know is he was fighting over a crazy beaver, you know. So he ended up, I mean, I'm laughing because I'm just, you know, he's behind me. I'm like, ha ha, that's what you get. I just heard that splash. And you had some people fishing on the river, and they just packed their stuff like we're done. And he's over there fighting his beaver, and I'm just laughing and paddling like, okay. Well, he ends up getting back on his kayak, and he's mad. And I was like, okay. So like a couple months went by, and I'm like, Richard, let's go kayaking, buddy. He's like, yeah. So we go to this place called Princess Anne State Park. And we put in, and I'm not wearing my glasses, right? And we're in the middle of the river. This part of the river always scares me, because if you get in the middle, I'm not a good swimmer. I'm like, man, that undertow is going to take me right in. And we were out there for a while, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to paddle over here to this log and sit down and, you know, and have a snack. Well, he's going the other way, and I'm like, well, I don't get it. And I get up to the log, and it's an alligator on the bank. And he was going to let me sit on that alligator. And so that was payback. So that's why I have issues and go to a therapist, because I have friends like that, right?
Yeah, we try not to kayak where there's alligators, sharks, anything.
I don't see how you Southern people. I mean, you know, we've been down to Florida, and you're in North Carolina, and there's gators there.
Yes,
and then Pat and Joe live down there in Louisiana.
Oh, there's gators everywhere.
I'm like, you know how to tell if there's an alligator in the water? Stick your finger in it, and if it's wet, there's a gator in there.
That's right. That's right.
Man, I mean, I'd be afraid to go fishing, kayaking, swimming. You know?
They're not that dominant here, but you can see where they've
Really?
slid, and you can every once in a while see them on the bank. But it's not like Louisiana or Florida. But just as sure as you let your dog swim in the river, it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
I'll just put it.
Yeah. A couple years ago, there was a news thing on all our stations where some older lady was walking her dog. I guess she lived in some apartment condos, and she was walking her dog just along the community pond there, and the gator came out of the water, tried to get her dog. We wound up taking her and eating her. I was like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Did you see the video where the gator grabbed a man's dog and the man jumped in the water and just beat the crap out of that gator and got his
Did he get his dog back?
I said, I think there's moonshine involved in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the Bigfoot. So let's talk about your first Bigfoot outing together as a couple.
Where was that? Was that Tennessee?
The very
maybe?
first one we went to. Now, an outing like where we went out hunting, or
just to
like to meet people.
Bigfoot and just out together as a couple.
That would have been in West Virginia.
the first time you went up to Gary's?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been just me and you in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And this place is way out there.
Yeah.
Like you have to go through a creek, half a mile?
Yeah.
At least a half a mile to get to it. It's all private property. There's nobody else around. And we decided to go out there, and it was an experience.
Yeah. I was proud of her. She really held up being out in the bush that far,
but it was so beautiful out there. You couldn't help but fall in love with it out there.
Yeah. I've asked other people to go with me, but apparently their trucks are too nice to get scratched and dinged and pinged and going through the creek for half a mile back.
Yeah, but we did find Bill, which goes as trackway, finding the trackway. Him and his wife and Jen, they all went with us, and it's a very booger place out there. I mean, it's
we've
crazy.
invited Joe and Pat there to go with us, but I mean that's awful far for Joe to go.
Yeah,
we will.
Well, that land got
no more.
That land got sold.
They got sold last year.
Yeah, the guy who used to let us hunt out there had to sell it.
Y'all come to North Carolina, I'll take you kayaking, Bigfooting, and hunting in the same day.
That actually, that was my first Bigfoot experience out there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was Bigfoot, whatever it was.
Yeah, she thought I was nuts when she met me.
I just like, oh, you're cute. It's okay. We'll go look for Bigfoot, And then the more people I met and listened to the stories, then I'm like, these people, they're not crazy. Yep. These people are legit, and they really, at least they believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
So who am I to, question that?
Yeah, once I took her around other people in the Bigfoot community, she's like, yeah, these people don't seem crazy. I said, they're not, honey.
They're not like the guy that they go interview after the tornado that lives in the, trailer park. But no. And then, so he took us out there, and we were actually getting ready to leave because we both had a really uneasy feeling the whole weekend. I mean, both of us just was on edge, uneasy, like you're being watched.
Yeah.
We kept getting.
It was real strong. I've had that feeling 2 or 3 times in my life, and
that was.
And every time, I was pretty much right about it.
So were you fighting the urge to stay out there?
Yeah. We weren't going to come back till Sunday. Well, it was Saturday night, Saturday evening. Well, it was just getting dark. It was, and he was like, "You ready to go? Well, let's just go." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine. Let's go." So we had packed the truck up and was getting ready to leave. And he went around because his AR had jammed, and he's not going to drive his truck with a loaded AR in it. So he's like, it's just easier because we're way out there, nobody around. He said, I'm just going to discharge it into the side.
In the bank.
Yeah, into the bank, because the truck was pulled up facing a bank that came down. And we went up there, and I went around the passenger side to get in, and he was at the driver's side, and he shot his gun into the side of the bank. Well, when he did, as soon as he fired that gun, this growl came out of the woods directly in front of me, over a little bit to the side of me. And it was this rumble growl that was so intense. Like I felt it in my chest. All my hair stood up, and I had that immediate urge to run. And I just freaked out, and he hears nothing because he just fired his gun,
Yeah,
and
my
he's
ears are
over
ringing,
there.
yeah.
And I'm like, Bud, did you hear that? And he's like, what? And I said, that growl, did you hear that? And I'm like panicking, and he's like, get in the truck. So I jumped in the truck and we took off, and it was a while before I could calm myself down. And I was trying to explain it to him, how it just radiated through me. And I was trying to make sense of it. And I said, well, it had to be this. Maybe it was a bobcat. Maybe it was this. And he said, first of all, honey, what animal do you know after you shoot a gun is going to stand there and growl?
Yeah, from where she said it was only 20 or 30 feet, and I ain't never seen any animal that,
So
here I am.
Yeah, as soon as we got home, he started playing all of these different animal growls for me. Well, did it sound like this? Did it sound like this? I mean, we went through everything, and we couldn't find anything. The only thing we came across that halfway resembled it was a tiger, where it does that deep growl that you kind of feel ricochets. There's no tiger running around in West Virginia.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have stood there. If anything, it probably would have pounced out of the woods at us.
Yeah.
So can I say 100% it was Bigfoot? No, I don't know what it was, but I know what it wasn't, and it wasn't any of those animal sounds we listened to. So
you get a rattling in your chest. You have a bad feeling.
Oh yes.
When you know, you know it.
And I knew it was time to go, and he did too. But I mean, we went back to that place many times after, and never again did we have that uneasy feeling. So I don't know if it was just a bad one that was there, or because it was our first time there.
Yeah, I even got drilled in the chest by a great big mud clod on top of the mountain that we call
Bigfoot Mountain.
Yeah, and I took off down the hill right now because it, we're at the top of the mountain, and it came, so it had to come through where it wouldn't hit a tree. So I looked for the clearest spot. I'm like, okay, I had to come right through here. So down the mountain I went and
left me. I had no idea what was going on. He just takes off running down the mountain, and I'm like, where are you going?
She wasn't that calm.
No.
So you said you got decked by a mud ball?
Yeah, a mud clod about a little bit bigger than a baseball, maybe a softball, and it just wham, it just hit and shattered. And I just looked up, and because I looked over her, she was on the side by side still, because we had to go up there once or twice a day to check the weather, because you get stuck back in the mountains. I mean, a big downpour.
Yeah, and you didn't have no cell phone service unless you went up that mountain.
So we'd go up there to the top of that mountain, once or twice a day, just check weather, check in with kids, whatever. Well, as soon as it hits me, I look at her, and she's sitting there on the phone facing away from me. So I'm like, down the mountain I went. I'm like, it's got to be just right here. And I had the thermal with me. I never seen nothing. I was like, you
got clocked by a Bigfoot.
And that was all the same trip. That uneasy feeling, like they really did not want us there.
Yeah, the woods were really quiet, Miss Perry.
But then we went back many times, and we even took some friends with us, and we got a lot of noises and stuff, but never again. Oh, happy birthday, Spencer.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Spencer. Everybody
birthday.
say happy birthday, Spencer. I want to read this because it's really nice that he did that. I can't stay, but I absolutely want to stop and say hello to everybody. And I will watch the show tomorrow. Bud and Angie are some of my favorite people. And Miss B, you have an excellent podcast. Thank you, Spencer. It's the people in the community that's actually a part of your community that really makes it such a great.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Spencer and Misty and Greg House and Mark and Rebecca, they all put on a great Talladega meet and greet.
Go enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, if you're still there, Spencer, look up Tony Green. Misty's got their information. Tony Green and Ron House. Great. They'll be great people for you to talk to. I referred them to your show and Mark and Becca. Okay, moving on. Anyway, you got clocked by a Bigfoot. And your sweetheart got killed.
It had to be something, man.
Well, it was
just me and her.
I don't think a raccoon could pick up. I don't think.
I wouldn't think so, but yeah.
But you know what? It was kind of weird though, because he was walking around that time, and he had because where he's prior military and prison, he had all of these tactical gear and everything on him.
Yeah.
And we don't know if maybe he was appearing threatening towards them, because after that, he didn't wear that gear any of the other visits we went, and we never had that kind of reaction again. So I don't know if they thought maybe he was there to harm them, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think dressing the tactical versus going out in civilian clothes, do you have different experiences or different energy in the woods?
We seem to get the most experiences when we are just campers.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what we like to do. We like to
hike, we go sit down and at a campfire and roast marshmallows and just visit. And that's when we have our experiences.
Yeah, we like to go out, you know, in a small group and then make sure we're seen in the woods, you know, hiking, fishing, just whatever, you know, doing something away from camp.
Clearing up, you know, tree limbs that are down or whatever. Because the last thing we don't want to disrespect. We don't want to throw garbage or anything like that.
Respect their land. You know, I've been running my mouth, and Pat is my honorary co-host.
Oh.
I'm going to let her take over for a few minutes, but I just want to say this. I really like the bond and the chemistry you guys have. That's so positive in this community. And I just wanted to say that, and which I knew it when I seen the video. Y'all giggle. I don't know where y'all are driving to. I have short-term memory. I could, when I first got married, I could barely find my way home the first couple of months. But anyway, you guys, now I'm gonna hand it over to Pat.
Okay.
Drill them, Pat. Drill them. Don't take me.
Yeah. Oh. That's right. You're in trouble now. Okay.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. Giddy up.
You're supposed to act like, oh no, not giddy up.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh no.
Act like Joe. Oh no.
Yeah, like that.
I love Joe. Y'all leave Joe out of this discussion now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Give him hell.
Didn't you have EVPs out there in West Virginia?
Oh yeah. And we wasn't looking for him either. We don't play that game.
No, Bill caught that.
Finding the trackway. Bill, he it was his first or second time he came, and Angie won't go in the old house. Which you got to be careful. You fall through the floor, collapse, or whatever.
You get a bad in there.
But Bill went in and
really
he wanted to record inside the house. So on our way out, I was walking Bill out, and we stopped by the door, and later on when he got back home and was reviewing the tape, it said it comes every night, or it returns every night.
It returns every night. Like the EVP
he got an EVP right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and didn't you have some, Angie?
Oh yeah.
If I remember when you were on the mountain.
Mm-hmm. You and Deb.
Oh yeah,
Deb, yes.
Yeah. He always Bill would find it later.
Yeah.
But we're not sure if it was saying to us girls because that's the night they dropped me. Because we, like me and you, Pat, we like to try to get the women out by ourselves. So Bill and Bud dropped me and Deb off on the mountain, and they went down to go on the other side of the mountain, and the EVP got follow them. But we don't know if it was where we were walking away or if they were talking. The EVP was talking about follow the guys on the 4-wheelers. So I like to think it was wanting to follow them, because then I'm not, like, oh. No,
yeah, exactly.
Don't follow us.
Yeah. Did you have any experiences with the two of you up there in West Virginia?
Me and Deb?
Yes.
No, not really. Never really had. I mean, we heard some owls, but nothing definitive, and we never really had like eerie feeling or anything like that.
Right.
Nothing like what me and you experienced down in Alabama. That was all new to me.
Right. So when you go out, do you have a game plan or ideas before you even get there?
Sometimes here just recently, I've been really trying to come up with different things to try, because apparently the same old stuff isn't getting much of a reaction. Yeah. Just like when Bud was in Snail Grove and everybody was letting out the calls right before they got on the plane. And what's old Goober do? He lets out a yodel.
Exactly.
And that's when they get a huge tree knock.
It ain't even a yodel. It's a redneck yodel. You know,
Do
we're
it,
going
do
to
it,
do
do
it half-ass. You know?
Oh, do it. We're waiting.
Yeah, do the yodel. That
No,
brought
Do
Yeah,
your
yeah.
yodel. Come on.
that brought
Yes.
brought the big whack.
Make it right.
Like I said, it ain't even the real one. All right, let me get off camera.
Okay. He has to get up there. Right.
Okay, I
Hey,
don't know if you heard
all you got to do is say, "Ye little old lady, ye who." Yeah.
I saw a commercial where they're in the
Oh yeah, the cough drop thing. Yeah.
I
Right.
like that.
Exactly.
We got you on, buddy. We got you recorded.
Yeah, record.
So
Record.
that's when it kind of was like, okay, maybe there's something to this, trying different things.
Yo, lady.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
then
Flat Rock's
that's
got
why
it.
when we all went to Flat Rocks last year
Yeah.
and we had
Correct.
Jody with us, which is
Oh yeah.
our friend who's classically trained in opera, I thought, well, how can we use this to benefit us?
Mhm.
Don't always go out hunting with somebody that's classically trained in opera.
Don't even know anybody that
That
sophisticated.
was smart.
But we do
I
now. We don't
I
even.
really want Jody on the show.
She is so
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh.
So
yes.
then we all sat around and talked about it and thought, well, let's see if, because she was listening to some of the calls and stuff that Flat Rock had recorded, and she was like, that's I don't know,
Yeah, note-
D minor or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
She's
notes.
like, oh, that, and we were like, oh, so you can do that. So we've come up with the idea that night. Well, when we were all just sitting around the campfire, we thought, well, let her throw a call out in that tone, see if she gets a response, which we all know she did. And
well, the first note, if I remember correctly, Pat, the first note time she did, we didn't get nothing, and then she went up to the next note, and she said no animal can hit that note. Is that
And
correct?
she made
you remember
that
that?
note,
Am
I
I
have
thinking
that.
correctly?
and then that's when we got the same exact call back
Yeah.
that was in that same note, and
Same,
it freaked her out because her being trained in that, she was like, that was to the T, the exact note,
Yeah.
and no animal can mimic you like that.
Yeah.
So she freaked out and said a few
Ran by.
words and shoot,
Yes.
right behind me, back out of it, and I'm like, whoa, where are we going? So
That was at Flat Rocks, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Flat Rocks places. Whew.
I have that recording, but I have one question. Bud, do you and Jody ever kind of mix the Jody lady with the opera? It just
Oh.
That
No,
might be for another adventure.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Yes.
try that next time. But I don't want her getting mad or nothing. And, because if I'm that much better than her,
I don't think you have a problem with that.
I don't think we have to worry about that either.
No.
I'm
You know what?
joking, Bud. I'm joking, Bud.
She did try that. Remember?
She did
the
try to
second
yodel.
time?
Yeah,
she did a
Yes.
yodel. Yeah.
but it was just when she mimicked
Because
their
of him,
call.
yes.
Yep, is when she got the biggest response.
Okay. Well, this is
Right.
like 2 minutes. See if you guys can hear it.
This is the second one
Can you
then.
hear it?
Or the first one.
Can you guys hear that?
No. A little further. Closer.
No, you can't hear it.
No, it didn't play right.
All right, let's try.
And now you can hear it.
Can you guys hear it in chat?
No.
It's getting like feedback, isn't it?
Right, right.
They're saying they can hear it in chat.
That was the Bigfoot right there.
That's big long. Okay.
Hey Pat, is she trying to play the ones you sent me today, or?
Yes, we were having trouble with them in the file, not wanting to download properly.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't
she
get
was trying
any
to
of
use
our
it on her
pictures.
phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't get
none of them?
any of the
Right.
pictures to download.
Right.
I did get a good thermal though, but we'll get to that. But y'all done woke up the whole woods, didn't you?
Well, his neighbor called, which is a ways away, where she woke up everything, and he called I think, to see if everything was all right, didn't he? I can't remember. I think it was his way of going, y'all knock it off.
Yeah.
But, you know.
The opera singer and the yodeler out there. I don't know, Flat Rock.
And then we also, because I was recording with the GoPro the whole time, and we didn't realize till that next day. And actually, Flat Rock came across it and found it.
Yeah.
There's eye shine over where the call had come from. There's eye shine, and him and Joe went over and looked, and you guessing he had to be 7.5 foot tall over there. The eye shine that was back and forth, and it was blinking and stuff, watching us while we was over there.
You know, I never thought about that, Pat.
Yes.
Last year when me and Joe went over and measured it from the ground up to the porch light where the eye shine was.
Yes.
It was 7.5 foot tall. And then this year, after we done that reenactment, remember we figured 7.5 for that one, 7.5 foot.
I mean, it was the same one wanting to know what us crazy fools was going to be doing again.
Who knows?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. What happened after that on the Sunday night?
Oh, see,
Jody left.
That's when I went to bed early because I'm a party pooper and can't hang with you big dogs.
Yeah, she goes to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Not usually. Always. Not when we're camping usually.
Well, not when we're camping. Right, but she made it to about, what was it, around 11 or so, Pat, I think?
Yes.
You know, me being a good husband, I had to go to bed with her. So we crawled in the back of the truck.
Stop it.
Can you get some more men to come in here on my side? I'm outnumbered here.
That's right.
Tell them what happened.
All right. Well, we crawled in bed there, and then Angie was out. I mean, less than 5 minutes, man. She was gone.
You guys are wearing me out.
She was snoring and farting.
I wouldn't stop it.
Well, she's in the country now. That's
right. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
No, I mean, she was asleep in 5 minutes, and so I'm just laying there. I'm like, man, do I play on my phone or what do I want to do? And I mean, and then Joe, Pat, and Flat Rock was over at their camper, maybe 40, 50 yards away from where we was sleeping. And I could hear something come crawling through the woods because, I mean, I parked the truck right along the tree line, right at the edge of the woods. And I hear something come walking. I mean, sound like walking to me, but, you know, I can't say for sure. But and then I hear it come right inside the tree line, probably less than 10 feet from the truck. And I hear a little whoop, like, hey, are you still awake? You know, I mean, just real light. Like Pat and Joe and Flat Rock, they was, like I said, 40, 50 yards away, and they didn't even hear that. And then, so I was like, wow. So I was like,
exactly.
Yeah. I was like,
not getting my Angie, are they?
I didn't hear nothing.
She didn't move, you know.
You slept through a Bigfoot. You go, girl.
And then the funny thing was me and Pat both had recorders out. We just put recorders out before we went to bed, and mine shut off within 7 or 8 minutes, and Pat shut off right about the same time too. I mean, both of us, same, and 3 new batteries, everything.
Yes.
Don't understand it.
No.
Do you remember hearing the one that was like 50 feet away from the camper?
Yeah. Well, I didn't until you played it back for me. I was like, oh, okay, because I know I heard one behind in front of the truck, and then I thought I heard one behind your camper while I was still laying there, locked and loaded.
Right. It came up about 50 feet there, and just in that clearing there, and going back to the logging road, and screamed at us, and it sounded just like Jody, just like her.
But yeah, Jody was already back in Georgia.
Yeah, Jody was gone. Yeah, and the funny thing is, now that you mentioned that again, that's right where Angie she's seen that one this last time. Yeah.
Not too far from it if they were in the clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we need to put last year's together with this year's, don't we?
Yeah. I mean,
definitely.
It's uncanny, some of the it's uncanny.
So just a quick comment that I'm gonna let Pat keep rolling with it. Oh, you go to Flat Rock's property, and the one thing that I do want to say is when you go there, you're very respectful
Yeah.
to
Yes.
the land
Yes.
and to the home, and you leave it better. It takes one bad person on your
Yep.
property to make your life living among them miserable.
Right.
But you guys, when you go in, all of you are mindful, and so that speaks volumes for you guys as researchers or
Oh yeah.
experienced.
I'd never be disrespectful and
Never want to do anything to put him in jeopardy.
I was going down to do a Florida expedition with Chris Reinhardt and Chris Connor and Tim T and Joey Bruce in May, and Greg House, the great guy he is, he said, "Hey bud, on your way down, why don't you stop and stay all night and visit me and meet each other?" And I said, "Well, that'd be great, but I mean, because I wasn't planning on going that way, but I was like, you know what, to meet Greg and all, I'm going to go out of my way, and so I went down there to Man Cave, which me and him hit it off. I thought pretty good, because too good, I think, because I was wanting to do a video of the Man Cave of all the people that's been there and talk about the place. Nobody's ever took a video, so I was wanting to get a video of Greg and taking me around the Man Cave and video it, put it on our channel, and me and him talked from daylight till 5:30 the next morning, and before we went to sleep, because he's like me, he can't sleep at night, and so I got up. I think I got about 10:30 and told Greg bye, thanks for having me, appreciate it, and headed to Florida. But yeah, I didn't even consider asking Greg to put out anything, the cameras, audio, nothing, because I've heard Greg on shows before, which he don't want to bother. Yeah. I respect that. I mean, so I didn't even bother asking. I mean, I just wanted to meet the man and met his wife and daughter. I mean, great people, and I appreciate him for having me overnight there. So, but it was a blast. That's like I said, I love doing this, to meet people and get out and see new areas, and you never know what chances may arise later, to go somewhere.
If you don't have any experience, the worst can happen is you have good conversation and good food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And he fixed some shoot, I don't know if Greg's on here or not, but he fixed some good, I think it was, he fixed it. And it was spicy, which I usually don't eat spicy food.
Right.
I just poured the sugar to it, so it was good. It was good. I mean, I ain't tasted nothing, Greg. I ain't tasted nothing that Greg's made it taste bad. That's for sure.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
Him and Pat.
It's about like Pat. Oh man, if you go, you got to go camping with Pat, Miss V. If you go, oh man,
she's a professional chef.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't pick a better person to go camping with.
Oh, I enjoy it though. I so enjoy it.
She does the cooking and Joe's the entertainment, so you got it all right.
Right.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal. They are definitely like family. I would feel right at home. They'd probably have to kick me out.
Oh, never. Anything happened in Florida when you went?
Yeah.
And Angie joined you during that time.
Of course,
as well.
I think I'm the.
Yeah, I've seen Phyllis said because the week after I was there, I think Phyllis was there, and I forgot to sign that.
Right.
Greg's got a Bigfoot hanging on the wall. He has everybody sign. I forgot to sign it before I left, so
that's awesome.
Bring Angie and you both can sign it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
awesome.
Right. I've been there. Yes.
Yeah, you was in Florida. What a week before I got there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go ahead and give them a plug when they say Greg. Woodwalkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woodwalkers. Greg, Misty.
They're all.
Misty.
Happy birthday.
Misty's the best.
Yeah.
So
I know it's Spencer's birthday, but Team Misty.
That's
Team
right.
Misty. I'm sorry I interrupt you, but you guys were talking to. I interrupt you. I hope you didn't forget.
No, you're
No.
fine.
Angie the bait. That's right.
I am the bait. I guess I am.
That's okay.
Angie and Pat was that night. You guys walked back here.
Yes.
I signed it. Yeah. Make me feel bad, Phyllis.
Okay, Florida. Anything happened in Florida with you two?
I'll just
you
say
had some experience.
Yeah, there was some stuff that I'll just say stuff that happened to Migs, Chris Connor and Reinhardt. They're still going to put out a video about it, but
Sure.
I'll start off by when we went to pick her up at the airport. She got off the plane.
She looked away.
Oh
She got
yes.
clean,
Oh
I'm-
yes. I
I'm holding the
remember.
sign up.
Okay, I'm scared to death of flying, and
Yeah.
I flew to be with this man,
Mm.
and it was
And me too.
it was bad storming, and oh, there's Misty.
Hey, Missy, that's my girl. Oh, yeah, all right, Team Miss. All right, get out of here.
Well, he said that's my girls. You too, bud.
I'm
But
glad
yeah,
they didn't
girls.
spend time together at the meet and greet.
It
Whew.
was too busy.
Oh.
Anyway,
Right.
so I go through weather the storms.
In the green
which
swamp.
It was delayed twice, and because of storms. So I finally get there. I walk off to him waiting on me, holding a big old sign upside down because
Yeah.
he's a
I'm sitting there
goober.
holding a sign, and this one is the first lady off the. She goes, it's upside down, bumps me, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
turn it around, and it said, "Congratulations on your parole. Welcome home."
That's orange.
But you know what? I missed this goober so much. I didn't care what the sign said.
And me too.
Right.
Speaking
Right.
of green swamp, does this look familiar?
Take a note of landing.
Oh no.
I love that.
Right on me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
there
the
was
best.
there was me,
That's-
Tim T, Chris Runner, Chris Connor. As soon as I can, I'm waiting on. I told both Chris's, Reinhardt and Connor, I'd wait, put out our video after theirs, and I mean, like I said, we just do it for fun. They do, they're monetized. I want them to, get what they can, but Chris Reinhardt made that, and that was so awesome. I was like, oh man, that is awesome. I'm gonna put that in our video. So.
That's
It
right.
was on my show now, so
Yeah.
I appreciate
That's
that.
right.
Now
That's
the way
right.
it could have been better is if he'd done that in George Jones, maybe, but
So you can't beat George Jones on possum.
See, I knew I liked you.
Johnny Cash, old possum,
Oh yeah.
rose-colored glasses. Sing us a
Oh,
tune.
it's almost
Rose-colored-
Conley. She mentioned some old people.
That's
Oh,
right.
That's
yeah.
right. That's
We're talking my
right.
language now, baby.
Oh yeah.
You need an older lady, some Thomas Conley. Earl Thomas
Right.
Conley.
Yeah.
There you
Can
go.
you do us a tune, bud? You know you can. Throw us one out there.
Can I do what?
Rose-colored glasses. Throw us a tune out there right quick. You can go off
I
camera.
can't sing. I'll break this laptop.
Go off camera and do it.
No, he'll be over there just playing it on his phone.
Give
Right.
Give away my
He'll be
secret.
like, how did you make the music in the background?
Yeah.
I'll let you slide, bud. I'll let you slide. Go ahead,
Right.
Pat. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm used to it. This is how we do when we camp.
Yeah. We have a ball.
He
Right.
quit loving. He stopped loving her today, William.
Oh, yeah.
That's Rusty. That's Rusty is who that is.
Yeah, after Rusty the doctor, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet Rusty. He's awesome.
Yes.
That's
Now I know you can't speak on this a lot. Was there anything unusual that you can speak on with Snellgrove when you went there? I know it's kind of iffy for you to
this
speak
past
on
year,
anything.
there's a lot of stuff. This
Personal.
past year, I didn't have to sign an NDA, so yeah.
Yeah.
There's something I was definitely one of the reasons I was wanting to go back was I was wanting to go out on that lake in the middle of the night, and
Right.
I wound up going by myself because I figured, man, you get out in the middle of that lake, you're going to have probably, well, heck, I'd be afraid to guess, but 20 to 100 square miles of shoreline. Probably you sit out and you can, but I just focused on, I don't know, probably 2-3 miles of shoreline there.
You're going to bop me with your hand.
Let me sit on my hands here. He's always saying you gotta move your hands to talk.
But don't make us pack our bags and go get you straight, son.
Sorry.
All right.
You just about-
But so I went out in the middle of the lake. It's pitch black. And calm as glass out there. So, and I put it in our video. There's about a 10-second clip of me on the lake filming, and you can't see nothing at all. But then I pull up the thermals and night vision stuff, and you can see how good you can see from out in the middle of the lake and see the shoreline. And I even had fish bait, some fish that I'd catch. I'd take and put over and slice them and put them out for bait, hoping something would come to them. So I wound up catching a bear, some eagles fighting over fish, and even a seagull.
And I had that video. I
Yeah,
had that
Couldn't
video
download it.
and I couldn't get it to upload.
yeah.
I
She's.
was like, there's an eagle, but what's that?
It was 2 eagles fighting over the fish I had.
And
It
then
was
and
pretty
then the
nice,
bear,
yeah.
it showed the
And
bear.
the
it showed
bear
the
was
bear.
refereeing. We're the bear in the corner refereeing, looking on. We
Yeah,
had to
I
see-
know. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really,
What?
Right. What happened
Wow,
to the one?
but
What
that's-
happened to the one where you fell in the water?
That's
That was
awesome.
great. Fell
Oh.
out of the boat.
It
Yeah.
ain't a video if Bud don't fall.
Yeah.
Right.
That's automatic. But no, I was coming. I just sliced the fish open and was getting ready to move my camera, and it's about maybe a foot or two deep there, and I just pulled the boat right up. As long as you're in the boat by yourself, you can take the boat right up on the shore pretty much, and but Reinhardt went with me, and so we got up close shore, and I jumped out, and went over and took care of the fish, and went over to get up my camera, and when I climbed up my rock, whoom, it slipped right off that rock, buddy.
Down he went.
I grabbed the boat. Chris like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, Chris, it's only a foot deep. I ain't going to drown.
Right.
But
Angie,
Right.
my
I
husband
came up
sells
with
life
I
insurance.
had the audio recorder. I came up with the audio recorder mouth, like rainbow coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Save the recorder. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Stay tuned,
That's-
folks. Stay tuned.
That's Angie, my husband sells life insurance. If you just let me know.
This is
As long as they don't
okay.
watch the videos, they'll
Oh,
insure it.
okay.
I do want to say this. I thought this was cute. This is like a hillbilly Bigfoot channel.
Oh,
Genuine
yeah.
people, great people, y'all.
That's me. Yeah.
That's right. As
He
he
was
says,
on the corner. He was on the corner down there with all the equipment. That's Brian.
oh, okay. We
Oh,
met
that's
them.
Brian there. Okay.
That's-
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's who that is with Jeffy.
Jeffy,
The two
Brian,
of
and
them.
Jeffy. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We
Yeah.
got to meet them.
Yes,
Can't
they
consider
were
them
great
nothing.
people. We met a lot of good
Yeah,
people.
who's he calling a city boy?
Yeah.
At least I know
How
the truth.
I met it's on the road tonight. He says, "You see any
Oh,
of
yeah.
them 20-foot trout?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see no
20-foot
fire
trout.
We got to meet Pyro at the meet and greet, the last
at
meet and
LBL.
greet.
Yeah, I think it's March.
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Really good guy.
That's
Right.
awesome. Okay, Pat. I'm sorry. I am going to sit on my hands.
Oh,
'cause if
no.
I'm sitting on my hands, I can't talk.
That's my
Well-
line. Never used it.
First of all, we need to say hello to Mrs. Flatrock. Hi, Dot.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Dorothy, we see
Yeah.
you.
Hi, Dottie.
Welcome, Dottie. Welcome.
Yes.
Heard so
Yeah.
much good stuff about you. You got a good fellow there too.
Yes.
Exactly.
I can't see the chat. Is she Mrs. Flatrock on there, or what she go by?
Is she?
I don't
is.
think she's in there unless she's
No.
listening with Flatrock.
She's probably
Okay.
listening.
Well, Flatrock, tell Mrs. Flatrock we said hello.
Yes.
Well, y'all
And-
done and busted me out because I act like I seen her in trap, and you just busted me. Yeah.
And you got to
That's
say,
fun.
you got to tell the Boo, the boogering dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
If it wasn't for Boo, we wouldn't have had the experience we
Yeah.
had.
Well, why don't we go into a little bit of that? Let's start with Boo. That's where I
Yes.
think we need to start
Which
with.
we got to see Boo last year in action,
Yeah.
which Kenny had told us, Flat Rock had told us this dog will alert when there's a booger close. Otherwise,
Mhm.
I love Boo, but he's one of the laziest big old dogs you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But when there's a booger close, that dog will jump up,
Yeah.
point like a hunting dog, tail straight out, hair up, and then he will charge those woods up and down the tree line, barking and growling and carrying on while there's a booger there. That's how you know.
Yeah, Flatrock always told me, he said, Bud, he says, Boo here only when he's home, he only barks at Bigfoot. So we was all sitting at Pat and Joe's camper one night underneath the awning, and he's dead asleep, and all of a sudden, man, his cat comes running across, and he jumps up, didn't bark at.
Didn't bark.
He grabbed
didn't
him.
growl,
Yeah,
nothing.
growled, but he didn't bark one lick. But later on that night, when
Our experience.
he jumps up and starts barking, I
Yeah.
grabbed the closest thing to me, which was the thermal, and I ran after him. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first night there, and we weren't even planning on doing any
Yeah. I
investigating
mean,
that
we
night.
just got unpacked, set up,
Yeah, we came
we-
straight from the meet
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
greet.
and meet and greet.
We
Yeah.
all just got set up. We were tired, sitting around just talking, and then
Mhm.
Booger and Boo
Yeah.
alerted, and up he went, and he stood there. I remember looking at him, and he was like a straight board, tail straight out, hair up on the back of his neck, and we knew it's go time. So Bud jumped up, grabbed the thermal, took off after him, and I'm like, well, I want to go. Well, Bud usually always takes the night vision because it's a little complicated. I don't mess with that stuff. I usually just mess with the thermal, which is basic. Well, I grabbed the night vision, just checked the power button, turned it on. Bud and Boo are down the tree line. He followed Boo down the tree line. So I walk around the corner, and I'm just kind of wanting Bud in sight because I don't want him to wander off if something happened. And I just had the night vision, and I'm just casually looking around, not actually expecting to see anything because they're down that way. And I see movement, and it makes me just stop. And something big, and I only had the night vision on. I didn't have it clicked up because I didn't know there was steps you could go up to turn on the infrared. So I seen was a huge black mass. It had a head, it had shoulders, and you could tell it had hair to it, but I couldn't make out any features. And it stepped to the side through some saplings, and I knew, I'm like, my mind's like, what am I seeing? What is this? And I just froze. And I remember just going, Bud, trying to get Bud back up there. Because I wasn't really afraid. I didn't have that overwhelming fear like I did in West Virginia. I just had more of a shock. Like I'm actually seeing something. And I'm like, I want Bud to see this. And I started going, Bud. And then this thing just was gone. I mean, it was like he slid out of there. Yeah, I wouldn't even say he ran. He just was gone. And I'm just standing there going, what did I see? What? I couldn't comprehend. I still can't I play it back in my head, and I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. So by the time he gets up to me and he's trying to figure out, and then Pat's coming around because they could hear my voice. They knew something had happened, and she didn't want to come charging over there and if something's going on, run it off or, interrupt things. And I still don't know what, but I know it was huge, whatever it was. And it moved like speed I've never seen before. It was just that first sudden step to the side wasn't real fast. It was just a step. And I'm like, what am I looking at? And then it was gone. And Bud we didn't even realize we went back to the camper because by then Boo's like, cool. Boo's calmed down. He goes back and lays down. So we're like, okay, it's over. Boo's back over snoring. So they get me back to the camper and they're trying to ask me, and Pat's smart. She's writing stuff down while it's fresh in my mind. She's jotting everything down because I'm just like a blubbering idiot at this point. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah.
Rightfully so.
To write down. That was real. I wouldn't have even thought about that. And he's trying to record me. And while you were recording me, while you were asking me, explain what you seen. And I'm trying my hardest to explain, but it just still didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that first hour, she was white as a ghost and took her 3 hours to stop shaking. So I know she's seen something, but
an adrenaline dump to do that.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Because then while it was fresh, even though it was dark, we all got ourselves together and went back over there and started Bud and Flat Rock went up around to where I seen it back in that area. And they said there was trails running back there where you could tell something had been back through there. And where I seen it at, they said you could see the camper perfect.
Oh, you can see us sitting there.
And we were lit up, so it was like we were on TV for this to watch.
Yeah.
And
live TV.
And that's what I'm saying. If we didn't have Boo, we would have had no clue this thing was over there.
Yeah, that's why, because Flat Rock has always told me, hey, this dog only barks at boogers when he's home. So I was like, well, I'm gonna see. So I mean, Boo just hopped up right now and took off. I'm like, nobody else. I was like, I just grabbed the closest thing to me, which was a thermal, and I just started following Boo. When he stopped, I'd stop.
It was like the perfect storm because I believe that I think they can see infrared light.
Yep.
That's why you don't get them on trail cams.
I mean,
And
that's just what we believe. We're not saying it's
this
true.
our theory.
Yeah.
But if I had known what I was doing with that night vision,
Yeah.
I would have clicked it on to the infrared so I could see better. But then that thing probably could have seen me coming, and I never would have seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she said, I usually take the night vision because it's a lot more buttons and
then he's like, "Was you recording?" I'm like, "It records."
Yeah, she thought you turned it on. The IR was
Right.
on recording. No,
I don't know nothing about the thing. I knew where the power
But you
button.
got something extraordinary. And for those that don't know, let's talk about why Boo alerts on the Bigfoot. He got smacked by one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if
Right.
Boo says there's a Bigfoot there, there's a Bigfoot there, and that just adds to the experience.
Yes. And it's like he will let you know where it's at, but he's not going in those woods. He stays safely away, up and down, barking and growling, but he does not jet in those woods after it.
Yeah, he's a great dog to have along with you for that. I mean, Flat Rock told us one story where, now correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but didn't he say that one of her dogs got killed and they couldn't find Boo, and they went out to look for him, and Boo was laying out in a tall grass field. He would not move until they walked up on him. You know,
He was too scared.
He was too scared to move from that tall grass.
Probably kept him alive.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Boo, I owe my experience, all of it, to Boo.
Yeah.
Because if he had never, we would have just continued to sit there and just kick it and shoot the breeze and, cut up and listen to Joe and Bud go at it with each other, and would have missed all of it.
Now, wait a minute. Me and Joe's usually on teams making fun of you girls.
Well, I know.
We know that. It's reverse, really, Angie.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, I still, and I haven't told a whole lot of people, and it's not that I'm embarrassed. I'm still trying to make sense of it myself.
Process.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks,
it's a process. And then, of course, you're going to have all the judgmental people. And like I said, no, we didn't have it on night vision recording or anything, but it was the experience to me. Now, after that, I went from a little bit of fear and scared to the adrenaline dump. And then by the next day I got up, I was ready to go. Let's go. I want more. I want to see more. I need to know for sure what I seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Her and Pat came in and got me and Jess said, hey, why don't you guys go back here and back his logging road there and clear out a spot so we can sit at night. So we took the weed eaters and cutters and cleared them out a spot for them to sit that night.
Yeah. But we did, when it was daytime, the guys went back over there, and me and Pat kind of
to reenact it.
To reenact where it was, and they tried to measure, and we come up with guessing from where I can remember, because there was a white mark on the tree where they must have had it marked for lumber or whatever.
That's just part of the tree.
Oh, well, from what we could judge the height, we're guessing about 7.5 foot.
Which like I said earlier, from last year.
Yeah, which I never even put 2 to 2 together.
Yeah, I hadn't either till
no.
I mentioned it. Yeah. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Let me tell you about critics. Who cares?
Right. That's me.
Yeah.
The whole time we've been doing this. Yeah. I mean, having the evidence is awesome, but without it, I don't care, because it's all about our experience.
Yeah. I mean, we don't claim nothing. I mean, we just, whatever we get, we might tell you what we think it might be, but we don't say for sure. And we like for everybody to decide
just
for
like
themselves.
the clip you were talking about.
Yeah.
We didn't even later that night, Bud was like, I was recording the whole time. I wonder if I got anything on thermal. Well, then the next day we talked about it again, and me and Pat was like, Pat's like, I got the laptop in there. Let's go stick it in there and see real quick. Okay. So we went in there and we put it in there, and we're watching, and we both were like, right there.
Well, you and Pat
it was just me.
Validated.
I was like, hey, you better look up.
We were like, we got to get some other opinions, but you can see movement.
Yeah, you can see. There's nothing real definitive, but you can definitely see where something.
Oh, you can see where
bush trying to hide from me, and the thing is I didn't even know I was getting that. I mean, that's what's so weird to me, because I don't know if you've ever looked through a thermal, Miss V. Well, I guess being in the police, I guess you probably have.
Well,
people just glow. I mean, their clothes don't so much, but I mean, still they glow. And I wasn't getting that definitive glow at all.
But maybe their fur keeps.
See, that's what I've always said. I believe their fur kind of keeps the body heat hidden, or they can regulate their body heat, or both.
I think they're rolling mud sometimes.
It could be.
You can roll mud, and
Good call on that. Yes.
But
Good call.
the video validated everything.
Yeah,
You
it
knew what
just
you
all
experienced.
Yes.
just
Mhm.
all came together perfect. And then when me and Pat's watching that video, we were both like, "Oh, did you see it? Did you see it?" And she jumps up and she's like, "I got to go get the guys. I got to go
Yeah.
get Budden." And
I
we
can
let.
see
As soon as
that.
Bud watched it,
Yeah.
he was like, "Did
There's
you see
movement.
that?"
I
Like
said,
he
"There's
couldn't
movement."
believe
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
then we went and got Flat Rock, and Flat Rock was like,
It was
"We got
fast.
it! Look!"
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean,
It
it was
was-
pretty exciting for sure.
It didn't
Yeah, it
even
was
think
exciting.
about it. It was like a deer in headlights. I mean, it was fast and it was fluid. You guys want me to play that, or you want to walk
No.
us through it as we?
No, you play it. That's fine. I mean, like
Yeah.
I said, we don't do this for anything but our
Yeah,
experiences.
we like
and
Right.
We
Yeah.
have no problem sharing in that.
You know what? I'm
Mhm.
with you. I don't need no Debbie Downer. I'm out there for the adrenaline and the company and the food.
Right.
Oh, we got it. We got it.
But I think you guys are a Bigfoot magnet.
I don't know. It's nothing definitive.
Hang on.
It's right there behind that bush.
When
Did
Bud
you-
turns, you see it
Right
right
there,
there,
yeah.
the white, and then it
See it?
pounds
You
it
guys
back,
see it?
and then you
Let's
can
see
see it move around
So you
a
can see
little
it,
bit.
see something
It was
moving
right
behind
there.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it-
yeah.
To me, I thought there was two there, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
the-
that,
well,
that
yeah,
is like,
Sure.
yeah. The first few
Right.
seconds is the best
When you
part.
first
so-
when he first pans over to it is when you can really see like the white duck back behind
Yeah.
the bush.
See, yeah.
I
Right there.
missed
Yes.
that gummit. Hang on.
Yeah, see-
Well, there's a longer video too that's
She's, yeah.
it's a little bit longer but chaotic, but you can see more. You can see the legs and the arm movement and things like that. But it's a lot to try
Yeah,
and put
it's-
up. It
I'm
doesn't
gonna
want
tell
to
you right
download.
now that was movement. That weren't your movement. That
Yeah.
was something
Mm-mm.
moving. That's just really
But like he
obvious.
said, it's not glowing, but there's definitely a pale white behind it that's moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I
Sure.
mean, and it just with it being Boo
Yeah.
running up and down that area, and then that wasn't too far from where I seen that.
Well, where Boo stopped, I mean, he was looking straight right there. That's why I put the camera on and held it there for a few minutes.
So
But I didn't even catch that one, and then I heard Angie start hollering my name. I didn't even.
so we
I
don't
didn't even
know
notice
if
it.
when Bud and Boo went down, they ran that back up my way, and when I came
Yes.
around the corner, I caught it off guard. So.
Yes.
But I really do think if I'd had that infrared light on, I would have
Mhm.
never. He would have seen me coming as soon as I rounded that corner.
Correct. Correct.
Excuse my
shine.
language, but that is badass.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the real deal.
it's.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I mean, I just know it's movement.
Something.
Yeah.
I know what
Something.
Boo said it was, and that's
Yeah,
what
you know what?
I
And Boo
said-
ain't a liar.
I said at the beginning of the shows, grandparents and dogs don't know how to lie. Well,
That's right.
dogs don't know how. I
Exactly.
used to work dogs. They don't know how. They don't know how to lie. You can
Yeah.
direct
Yeah.
them into a false alert, but they on their own they're not. They don't
And when
lie.
that thing took off and he was gone, I'm left standing there going blah 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 blah. But Boo
Mm-hmm.
went right
Mm.
back and laid down like no big
Yeah.
deal. Was back to sleep. And
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
like, yeah. So you can tell that dog is used to them boogers being there, coming up to the.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
He runs them off and then he goes about his business. But yeah,
Uh,
that's why I'm like, that might be the thing missing when people go hunting. If you have something to alert you that they're even around.
Right.
there's a very good chance this video
This
is just me sneaking to the fridge for a bag of shredded cheese.
Yeah, we go way back. Brian and I go way back. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, and that was all the first night.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and I was like, so then that next day after we went and the guys measured and we were kind of using Joe
Yeah.
because Joe's bigger, tall and
Yeah.
broad. And we were kind of using him as he was holding the measuring tape and getting an idea for us. And then me and Pat came up with the great idea that we want to go out in the woods, just us women at night.
Mhm.
And we wanted to try a couple things. We wanted to try, Pat, that was your idea about what
Yeah.
we wanted to
Yeah,
play.
yeah, it was your
You
idea.
Tell
But-
them what it was.
But you go ahead. You go. This is all about you. I want you to tell exactly
Well,
what happened.
She came up with the idea of, I think it's called coddling.
It's calling, but
It's
see,
spelled
Scalding.
different.
Yeah.
CAUL. Right?
It's with the women back, and they might still do it over in
Sweden.
in Sweden and stuff to call the cows in.
Sweden.
They would go out and hit all of these certain notes, and these cows would come charging. Maybe because they hurt their ears, because some of them notes, whew. But I thought, well, we've got a Bluetooth speaker. So let's go out when we go. Well, she was the idea to play this. And I thought, that's a great idea. Let's go out there, and we're going to Pat come up with the idea. Let's take 2 chairs and sit back to back so we can see everything coming up on the side, and we're covered from the front and back. So 360, we're good. So let's go out there at night and see what happens. So, and at first, I don't think the guys are super excited about it, because that whole they got to protect my woman thing comes in, which is sweet. But we got there.
I was wishing I had the life insurance policy on her before then.
Right.
I don't know. I have no clue who would write you a policy.
So
I want to go back to one thing
was
that I didn't ask you before. Did y'all see any eye shine?
no,
You didn't. You didn't, did you? No.
I
Okay.
didn't. I
That's
was
something
too.
I wanted to ask.
It was the whole just seeing the head and the shoulders and just the big blob, the way and it moving. I was just froze at that. But I didn't see any eye shine, and I didn't smell any strong odors. And that was the thing. When this thing took off, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear, like, normally you hear something running through the woods or whatever it was. I didn't hear nothing. Maybe over my mumbling of buh, 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 buh. I don't know, but I didn't hear nothing.
Right. Can you tell the folks how far away you were from it, and how far away whatever it was from the camper?
Well, we were guesstimating about
20, 25 feet.
25 feet I was from it. And then from it to the camper was what, 50 feet maybe?
Maybe another 30, 40 feet. Yeah.
So 50, 60
It had a
feet.
clear view of me, Flat Rock, and Angie, because Joe and Pat was sitting up against the camper right there.
Yeah, but
it had a
anytime
clear
they moved,
view.
well, you could see Pat on the end down there, how she was sitting.
I think you can see her feet.
Just
sticking
Joe
out.
was hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
Just Joe was high. Yeah, he was.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was like he could have stood there all night and watched us if Boo hadn't alerted us, and we would have been none the wiser that it was there.
Sure. And you had the trail cam sitting there too.
On the other side.
I was right. I stayed put because I was. If y'all flushed it out, because Bud, it was great. He was brilliant because he was flushing it your way. You catch it, and I thought there was a chance it would flush over, come out that hole right there, and we could get it there.
Right into the camera,
Yeah. But I think where Bud started back up my way, because I was blubbering, I think when that thing took off, it took the opposite direction back down that way, which I think is where there's that big ravine back there. So I don't know if it took off back through that way and down that ravine. I don't know.
We did get some slides. We did get some slides there too. I believe we got like some foot impressions. Nothing definite.
Yeah, we've seen the
They
impressions.
were pretty deep. They were pretty deep
and
big.
As far as I know, they just refer to boogers down that way, down Alabama.
Down south, they call them
down
boogers,
south, they just refer to them as boogers, but I don't really think there's much difference.
Yeah, like my grandparents would call them hairy men, hairy people of the woods.
And then just different areas refer to them as different things.
I'm sorry, Pat. He asked that about 30 minutes ago, so I had to get that. In.
Oh no,
But you found some foot impressions.
Yes, Pat, the next day when we went out to get an idea of guesstimate of measuring, she was like, went back there and was looking around, and she was like, hey guys, come here, look. And I could have sent pictures of that, but again, I can't get the pictures to upload. But
bad Vicky.
Yeah, no, I couldn't get him to upload either. But yeah, it looked like an impression, like something big, like a foot, and it slid and moved all of the leaves up to make like an impression, like maybe this thing was getting away quick and slid and then took off. I don't know, but like I said, I heard nothing when it did whatever way it flew out of there. I don't know.
Well, right inside that tree line, there ain't nothing but pine needles. So you can run a
Right,
pack
right.
of dogs through there and they ain't gonna make a sound. You know.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
pine
Yeah.
needles are pretty slick too if you're sliding down on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pine
Yes.
needles, yeah. I used to
Yes.
hate when I used to work canines and we would be running a trail. I used to hate hitting pine needles going that fast.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
And then
I
I'm
busted
trying.
my-
And the only, well, that night when me and Pat went out, we loaded up our little wagon or the ambulance, what we called it,
Bambalance.
and
ambulance.
put
I love
our
that.
chairs and all of that stuff in there. And we went out and we did her plan. We went back to back in the chairs, and we just sat and talked to him for a little while just to kind of get a feel of things and let them know we wasn't there to cause any harm, and we didn't want them to scare us, and we wasn't going to scare them. And then I turned on the Bluetooth speaker and I started to play that where that woman is just out calling for the cows and hitting those high notes. And that wasn't very far into it when the woman hit this note, and I heard it was like a grunt.
Right.
And I just instantly turned the phone off because it went, oh, and I turned the phone off and I just kind of went, Pat? And she said, yeah, I heard it. And I said, okay, you heard that grunt? And she said, yeah. And then she was talking and I thought I heard another one, but a little further out. So that kind of told me, I'm like, I don't want to play this because I didn't get a positive feeling from playing that. Like, I don't know if it hurt its ears or what but I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to play that. So then I had the EMF or the RF detector, and we had that, and me and him used this for a few years when we hunt, because Chris Reinhardt's the one that brought it up, and we never really had a whole lot happen with it experience wise. But that night I held it out in the same spot the whole time, and whenever Pat would start using her soothing mothering voice, and she would say,
You too.
yeah, she would say, now come closer, and that thing would spike, and I'm like, okay. And then it would calm down. It wouldn't do it. And then she'd start doing more. Well, come on, come closer. And we heard some cracking and a few things, just like maybe something was moving around.
Yes, we had movement around there. It was so thick you couldn't see through with the thermals.
Nothing. And then
both
we were there about an hour.
A little over an hour.
A little over an hour.
Yeah.
So I said, well, we both decided, well, let's go on back in. And I went over to get the camcorder I had set up, which was horrible. It didn't hardly take nothing.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Greg.
Well, good, thanks.
And I went to close the camcorder, and right when I closed it, I heard so, I mean, it still wasn't but it was enough. I was like, okay. So I do think something was watching us and interesting in why these crazy women are sitting out in the middle of the woods by themselves. But then we just walked on back. Pat,
what was that? Lucas?
Lucas.
He took our tri-field meter, what was it, midnight time he got there, and he took it out back where you girls went. And he was talking, he was getting spikes. I mean, just burying the tri-field meter.
This kid is a pilot in the military.
Training to be a pilot.
And he would ride his crotch rocket all the way out to Flat Rocks. He come out Saturday and Sunday? No, Sunday night. No, Monday night and Tuesday night.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
And he was so gung ho to get out there in the woods and experience something.
Yeah.
So he took it out all by himself, and I guess he got some crazy, said, audio when he was out there.
Yeah,
right. I'm going to mail that to you. I'm going to mail that to you so you can have that.
Okay.
It's a lot more than we got.
Yeah, we'll try to put that in our video.
Yeah, that kid, he was brave. He hung up right over, not too far from where I had my sighting. He put his,
taco shell.
That's pretty much a taco shell.
It's really a hammock, but it's a human taco shell is what it is.
And he hung
a Bigfoot burrito. There you go.
Yeah, there you go, Bigfoot burrito.
And slept there all by himself.
Wow.
Crazy. Young to be that young and crazy. Whew.
Right.
Let's see. It says, what if Bigfoot is actually out looking for evidence of humans?
Exactly.
He's not going to find any humans with common sense. Maybe,
Yeah.
That's true.
maybe he's got a camera too. He tells Dogman he saw Pat, but Dogman never believes him.
And he's got Pat on there going, come
This
closer,
is Jeff's
come
friend.
closer.
This is Jeff's friend. Oh my God, they
Yeah.
share the moonshine, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Well, Greg, you missed a George Jones a while ago and a little bit of Johnny Cash. So
Yeah, exactly.
Earl
Exactly.
Thomas Conley. So
Now,
Yeah.
Miss V, don't get me wrong. I mean, we like to cut up and have a good time, have fun, but we're also, we're serious when we go out. I mean, even though we cut up and have fun and make jokes, we're still serious. We still do our research and everything. But in the meantime, you got to have fun while doing it, or we ain't going to do it.
And you have to be with great people that you can relax and have a good time with.
Yeah, it makes it so much more enjoyable being with people that, I mean, Pat and Joe's fun to cook.
And I would
camp
never
out.
go out in the woods with Pat if I didn't feel like she has my back. And
Right.
I know
I
have
the same.
Yeah. If
you're
something,
talking to someone that saw a dog man, but has a show called the Not So Perfect Bigfoot Show. So I get you.
right. Yes.
Right.
I hope one day, when I get over my crowd thing, I can get up there and join you guys. I just invited myself, by the way.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
No, absolutely.
That's what we tell everybody.
Invitation.
We tell everybody, hey, anytime somebody wants to go with us on a
John
trip,
Conley.
holler at us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's John.
You're right. That
That's
was John Conley, rose colored. Yes, you are so right. But Earl Thomas Conley is the one that died, was married to the blonde headed chick.
No, you're
thinking of
Morgan.
You're thinking of Keith Whitley.
Keith
Yeah.
Whitley.
God, I lost redneck points. Let's just stop there.
Gotta take your redneck card.
I remembered rose colored glasses, okay, and little Johnny Cash.
But Old School is my favorite by John Conley. I love that song.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, rose colored. There's no better song, rose colored. I'm gonna tell you my favorite country song other than rose colored glasses. If you guys remember it, let me know. Nighthawk, just about right. You guys remember that one about the old man that goes up to the mountain to find himself? Just about right.
Nighthawk.
You guys have got homework to do, okay?
Yeah,
Oh, obviously.
We're gonna have to
Is
look
that
that
country?
up.
You ain't talking about Night
Obviously.
Ranger, are you?
It's Nighthawk.
Nighthawk.
Just about right.
Huh.
Mhm.
Do I need to send y'all the link?
No, just go ahead and sing
Oh.
it like you asked me to.
That's
Exactly.
just about right.
Exactly.
He put you right on the
Wait a
spot.
minute. My old man went out to the mountain. It says your blue
That
might
helps.
be gray. Your blue might be gray. Your something I forget,
Nighthawk.
man. It's my favorite song. Just
Never heard of
about right. Just about
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Y'all got it.
exactly.
Shane, my husband just walked through here and looked at me like she is not singing it.
Well,
All right.
tell Victoria what we figured out when I rolled the awning in when he was standing down there, remember?
Yes, when all the leaves that had collected on
Make it
top of the
rain.
awning, it started all the leaves, and they were standing underneath it, and Pat's like, "Make it rain!" And like they were dancing. We had him
What to
and
do? Yeah, that's what we
Joe
were doing.
Parker and
You're so
Michael
nice.
Haywood. We were gonna let them even let them pick their own songs they wanted to dance to. While they
Right.
did. That's just how nice we are.
Right. That's what we did. That's what we did.
Bigfoot
Audio.
etiquette. Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions you would like to ask this lovely couple? Well, Angie is anyway, Bud. You're all right.
Hey,
babe.
you're just telling the truth, honey.
No, I'm just joking. Angie's gonna
Exactly.
smack me.
No,
Right. Right. Now audio. I haven't gone through all of mine yet. But I've got some stuff. How about yourself?
I got one more night of audio to go through.
Okay.
From Flat.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to share or yet or not. That's up to you.
I mean, like I told you, I'm getting all kinds of walking in a minute, but you know, I mean, you can't really. There's so much walking around in the woods. You can hear stuff thrown, but I mean,
Nothing.
nothing
definite.
that I'd really like to save and play. I mean, there's some howls that's kind of iffy, and if I ain't pretty sure, I don't know what it is, and then I ain't even gonna bother saving it. But nothing real good for me yet.
Right. We'll have to get together on that,
Yeah.
on all that, on our audio.
Yeah,
So
and
you
I'm
can
about
post that.
done the, editing the video part. And unfortunately, while we were sitting out in the woods, the camcorder we got that was supposed to have night vision on it, it sucks. Royally
It's
sucks.
got night vision, but
And I didn't have it
Right.
close enough to us to pick. I mean, you can see us while we have flashlights, but that's about it. And it didn't pick up a whole lot. Hopefully the audio does, but
we're gonna have to get one of my IR that you put on separate, you know.
But I mean, regardless, it was an amazing time and an experience I'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, because
Right.
we went from the meet and greet down there at Talladega for Spencer, Misty, and Greg's and all them guys. We met all them people. Well, shouldn't say we met them all, 'cause
Yeah,
we
we met
didn't
them
get to.
before.
but we was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Left there Sunday, went to Flat Rock Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and left Wednesday. And that was just a blast. I mean, that's the stuff we like
Oh,
to
yeah.
do. And if we get anything, that's just a bonus. But we go to
Well, and it hitting the first night we was there. It was
first
just
night, because I've never seen her
speechless.
be in that situation.
Oh no.
That's
I've
what
never
he
seen her
meant to
act like
say,
that.
No.
speechless.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, you ain't shut up since we've been on there.
Yeah, right. Well, she said she wanted to cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Felt like she wanted to cry.
yeah, I mean,
Right,
for
instantly.
the first hour, she was pale white and shaking. I mean, she shook for 3 hours, and
It was
even that
just
first half
trying to-
hour, it was just. I've seen it in intense situations at the prison and in the military. You ain't scared. You're more or less you're just the rush. I mean, you're just.
You're trying to
she was teary-eyed
understand what
and-
you've seen because
Yeah,
you
I mean,
can't. I mean,
I don't think she'd ever had a
Right.
adrenaline rush or dump that quick, that fast on her. So
I mean, the growl
Exactly.
was, but
Yeah.
this was just seeing it with my eyes because the growl is easier to say, well, maybe that was some
yeah,
retarded wild animal that didn't know you're supposed to run when a gun shoots.
yeah.
But seeing this, it just still doesn't make sense. I don't
No.
know. I can't understand it.
No. Mm-mm.
And
I see Steven. I see Steven in the chat. He
Oh,
came
is he?
in. Yes, he came in right behind us and
Yeah.
camped there for, I don't know, 3 nights.
Yeah.
Right behind us. And I think he's going through some audio as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of days ago. He said he's still going through everything. So
Yeah, but
Mhm.
we can't thank Flat Rock
yeah,
enough
Flat
for
Rock
letting us come out
and
there.
Mrs. Flat Rock. Mrs. Flat Rock was great. I mean,
Yes.
you ladies.
She even went out in the woods with me.
Yeah,
and
you
Pat,
ladies took her under your wing.
and that was a
yeah.
huge step for her.
Yeah, that was great.
She went out at night too, but all we did we just walked her down
That's
the path.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, with
Mhm.
flashlights. We went slow. We talked until as long as she was comfortable, and then we turned around and walked back, and she was fine.
Yeah.
She enjoyed it. She said she had a good time, and
Yeah.
she thought we were nuts when we went out by ourselves to try those things we
Right.
wanted to try. But
I
she
always-
just kept shaking her head at us and was like, "You guys are crazy. No, I'm not going."
Yeah.
I always wondered, hope she would come around because you just
Oh,
could
yeah.
tell he wanted his
Yeah.
wife there and he loved her so much. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad
He always
that
talks about her, and I'm I hope she enjoys.
Well, we kept explaining to her how lucky and fortunate she is to have such
Yeah.
a beautiful land
Mhm.
to have, and that she's sharing it with them, and she doesn't need to be afraid because by now, if they wanted to hurt them, they would have hurt them.
Yeah.
So I think they can all live together in peace out there.
Yeah, Flat Rock said, "Hey, bud, I'm gonna save this time of year for you guys. That way you can come back every year." And his wife's like, "Man, they need to come back before then."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She didn't want us to leave.
So that makes you feel good, I mean, we
And-
love Flat Rock to death,
And then, of course, you get
I do too.
Joe
I love-
had mentioned the grits.
Yeah,
We went out to eat.
Yep.
Flat Rock took us last year. The most amazing cheese grits.
Yes.
great.
You can't go to the South without having cheese grits and the grilled
Shrimp.
Cajun shrimp.
Yeah.
And it was
Yes. It
amazing.
was great.
Yes, amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
To
So
me,
next-
that's what it's about. It's the
The fellowship, the
yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't.
And yeah, and I mean, nothing against Western Mass Outdoor Boys, where he says no real shot of the big guy. You know, Western, I kind of understand that you're like the rest of
Sure.
us looking for something definitive, but when you know, you know. And I really believe that video, 100%, I believe that you got a booger on it, whether he does or not.
No,
I do.
That's
like I
fine.
said, I've never said what it
We can say
I've
what
never
we
said.
believe it
Yeah,
is.
I've never
but-
said
Yeah.
what it is, but because
Right.
I even told him that when we first looked, I said it's nothing definitive. All it shows is there's something moving behind the bushes and trees.
And it was right when all of this was
It's-
Yeah, and if you
happening.
put the whole story together, I mean, it's just wow.
Let's put it back up here. You got a dog that can't stand boogers, that only alerts toward boogers, that's been slapped by a booger, that started this whole event.
Yeah,
And you got to remember, Angie didn't see the bush. She was at the side.
Yeah.
no, Angie was probably 40, 50 feet behind me, and
I was up the
I
tree
didn't even
line.
notice that when
She was
I
to the
kept
side.
hearing something. Yeah, I
Right.
kept hearing something, but I never even noticed I caught something.
Let's do
Right.
that
She
one
had
more
a
time.
clearer view. She had more of a clear view where you rushed it
Yeah.
over to Angie.
Yeah, because what I had, it was just behind a couple saplings.
Yeah,
It wasn't any
right.
more in the
Where Angie's
open.
saying it was as back up, past, back up towards your camper. I mean, I'm looking down the tree line, down long behind his
Right.
trailer there.
Right.
Where Angie seen something was on farther up the tree line behind me.
You
Right.
know, and that's enough for me. You have a dog that don't like boogers. It's been slapped by one that says,
Yeah.
"Look right there,
Oh, yeah.
only alerts to boogers." You got, the blowing through the cheeks. There, everything classic that you needed to build up to that, and that was by chance. You didn't even know you got it.
No, no,
And
this surprised
so,
me.
yeah, so I mean, I understand being skeptic, but that was
It's
enough
fine.
for me. That was enough for
Mhm.
me. And when you're there, you're there. When you know, you know. And that
Right.
was enough for me. And I think you guys nailed it that night. And you got, a 1 in a million shot there.
I don't know. I know I kept filming for how long? It was probably another 2-3 minutes because I'm like, well, Boo
Right.
went alert on nothing, and I'm still searching. I even walked farther down that tree line, and I was like, well, if there's an animal, maybe he mistook it, and I'm like, there's got to be an animal. Never found nothing.
That was
Yeah.
a tall figure that knew you were panning around and got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And
Right
like
into
I
me.
said, that's enough for me. And it's
It was the perfect storm. It really was.
Yeah,
We could that will probably never happen again to
yeah.
us.
There's my theory, or
Right.
as I was started down that tree line like that, and it must have ducked down and went down over the hill and then was circling back around to my left, going to go up past me, and it was. Now this is just what I ain't saying it's true. I'm just saying this is what I think could have happened. Was it seen me coming at it and busting him, so he had to go back down the hill and go up and around me, and I think it was trying to circle me. I think it was watching me to see if or does he see me going around him or not. And,
Right.
and when he's watching me circling me, all of a sudden, oh, there's Angie. He walks right into Angie, but she didn't have, when she had turned on the night vision, I mean, it still picks up ambient light, so it's good for 20 or 30 feet. And
It was good enough for me to
it was
know
good
there
enough for her
was
to make out
something.
a shape, head and shoulders, but she couldn't see no detail. But I think that's why it walked right into Angie's, because it was watching me see if I seen it circling,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell
Yes.
you what, I think that's one of the best I have ever seen. And I mean, that flat out, that's one of the.
Well, I appreciate. I just don't. I mean, there's nothing definitive. It just shows movement to
But
me.
honey, we have to put it with the experience.
Yeah.
they
Now,
have
if you
in.
put everything
Right.
together, I mean, it's great. Yeah, everything fits in great.
You're never going to get that perfect.
Yeah.
No.
where they glow like us because they're not
Yeah.
like us. They're
Yeah.
covered in fur.
Well, that's what falls back to what I think about the hair and all that.
Yeah. So I
Just
mean,
the way it moved. Yeah, I mean, it was just it just
Yeah. It was keeping
It-
something between me and it. So,
it worked like a person where it kind of turns and goes. It was like,
yeah.
go. And
Because the next morning, me, Pat, Joe, all of us, we went over in that area to recreate it again in the daytime. and there's
Right.
two or three ravines. It's 8 feet deep. I mean, just straight, straight drop in, and it could just bloop and then gone.
Mhm.
And not seen on thermal.
I don't
nothing.
know. I know it took out of there in a hurry.
Yeah.
I think that I'm gonna show it one more time. I just think that's the most awesome. I mean, wow.
Angie, what really got her was how it shifted. She said it was like it was floating.
Yeah.
It was like it glided out of there.
It glided. Yeah.
She said it stepped out and then must have seen engine and just gone.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so fast. I didn't know what is going on.
That's just, man, that's good stuff, y'all. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get better. You can't find one from the couch.
But like I said, I could care less if I get it on tape because it's about.
Yeah, I mean, but still, that's part of the fun,
Well, it is.
I mean, we
but
like
I
being
want
out there
more.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love being out there anyway, and especially with people to meet them or camp with them, and it's just a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nowhere I wouldn't go, and there's nowhere I wouldn't go, and I would have Pat and Joe with me. I mean.
Yeah, they're great to camp with. They're fun.
And they know what they're
Rock,
doing. Yeah, and they know what they're doing.
So there's a fence. Well,
Same here. Same here.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this. I know a lot of Bigfooters, and I've seen a lot of, videos, and I mean, I've just seen some outstanding, videos. And that is one of the top videos I've seen. I'll stand by that. And that is outstanding. That was great, guys. And I thank you for allowing me to show that.
Oh, yeah,
no problem,
absolutely.
No.
Because you
Times a year season. Oh, yeah, that's why Flat Rock tells us.
Yeah,
that,
Flat Rock tells us, hey, I'm saving this time of year just for you guys.
Yes.
You guys come back every year. He says September and October. He said the end of September, beginning of October for us.
Yes.
For a few weeks, he said there's a lot of activity there, and
Yeah.
it kind of vanished for a while.
So Hannah is a new researcher, and she got a very bad experience coming in the door. Can you guys tell her, all three of you, something positive about the community? Because she's with positive people, but she's had a taste of the bad side of it.
Yeah.
And I steered her to some good people. But tell her something positive about the community, and maybe give her some advice to be, out there in the woods.
Well, when you meet a good people, you know it. You can sense it. If you go out with them and they're not ready to run and leave you behind, if they hear something, then you got good people, and you'll make some lifelong friends. And it's so just refreshing to be able to open up and talk about your experiences and not be judged. And that's what's the most important, I think. Like at work, when I went back to work after this, I had a couple people laugh and go, "Oh, did you find him when you was in Alabama?" And I just said,
Yeah.
"Yep." And I just kept walking. And they never asked me details. They were just like, "Oh, okay." Like, yeah, she's been married to him long enough, but
Yes.
I just leave it at that. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
And I just keep walking.
We was down your way 2 years ago, Miss V, down at Uwharrie National Forest. We went down to Mark Hinkle and CD Squatcher and met them down there and for a long weekend down at Uwharrie. I don't know if you're near Uwharrie or not. So,
Yeah, that's my husband's favorite spot. But let me tell you, when you come to North Carolina, I'm gonna take you to the swamp. I'm gonna take you off the river to the swamp. No hills there, brother. Just wear your snake boots.
Great.
So, Bud, what would you tell Hannah?
Oh, you meet a lot of great people, and most people in this.
You got to find the people in it for the right reasons.
I thought I was talking.
Sorry.
Well, let the kid talk.
Go for it, Angie.
Yeah, let me talk.
Adults
There's a lot of great people in this, and if you watch Woodwalkers, they've had a lot of good people in there that have had a lot more. We ain't hardly had any real bad experiences. There's other people you can watch. Greg House, Troy Allen, Coonbo Baker. Them guys, if you really had a bad traumatizing episode, I'd get a hold of them.
They'll help talk you.
Yeah, they'll help. You know, they've
yeah,
been
she's
through it.
got-
Right.
she's got, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, Miss V.
She's got good teammates, but
She had a bad experience with people.
an
not
asshole,
big.
okay? An
Oh.
asshole.
Yeah, she had a
Yeah,
bad
okay.
experience with people.
She's
Not
got, but I did refer her to Woodwalkers, Mark and
Yeah,
Becca. Pat
So did
has
I.
act-
yeah.
Pat
Mark and
actually
Rebecca.
stepped up. Pat actually stepped up and just told she knows she's got some backup now. So don't
Okay.
don't turn the girls loose. The girls will come and Hannah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got you.
Yes.
But
And
I'm
so far,
sorry.
me and
guys.
Angie have been lucky enough. We haven't met too many negative people in the field.
yeah.
Thank goodness. I mean, like I said, we give everybody a chance. Then if you're,
a not nice
butthole, we'll treat you.
person,
Yeah. See ya.
then we just go on our way
Yeah, we
and
just
do
go on
our
our way
thing
and
and leave you
yeah.
alone.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of good people in it, and man, we have a ball. I mean, we love meeting people and having a good time, and I don't know if all the meet and greets are over, Hannah, but I mean, pay attention for next year. I mean, watch all these shows, and I mean, there's a lot of good people in here.
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's, I believe that's Wendell. So there's Mark and yeah, see,
It is
Yeah.
Wendell.
I
Yeah.
told
It
her,
is
yeah, I
Wendell.
told her the other night. I said if it's got over 2 words in the title, I forget, and I'm subscribed to this. I see it all the time, but it just I
yeah.
have to say it and see it.
But
though.
Mark and Rebecca and Greg House, they've dealt with them. Sound like most of their life from what I've watched them and heard from them. So they'd be good people to talk to.
And then maybe
Yeah.
Pat, I know she was
Good.
wanting to know if you had anything positive to say.
Oh, yes. Well, meet great people, food, great conversation.
food.
That's what it's all about is sitting and talking to one another, making friends, getting to know one another. But I will say, if you start texting with people, you'd never really know them until you meet them.
That's true.
Yep.
Don't go on that. And you have to be cautious nowadays, especially nowadays.
Oh, you ain't
Anyone's
kidding.
out
That's how
there.
easy check me.
Right.
She's-
But they'll tell you anything. You learn a lot about people when you come face to face. Don't trust them with everything, but when you meet good people, you'll know it.
Yes. Yep.
She
Yeah.
she has a good team that's really protective over her. But
Yes.
I did want her to see the good and what a good chat and good people are like. So, and and you guys have a YouTube channel. Tell her about that because that's positive and I love it. It's like the Bigfoot love story.
Ours is just fun adventures with Bud and Angie, but it's not all Bigfoot stuff.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
where we went swimming with dolphins
Yeah.
and jet skiing and gliding. What's that
Zip
called?
lining.
Zip lining, and which I faced my fear there. You just don't look down; you just look
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, when I first met her, she's scared death of heights. I'm like, well, how you going to hunt with me, woman? And
Now I
He
climb up
showed
every
you.
tree stand
yeah,
we got.
yeah,
So our it's just about having fun.
Yeah.
And what we're going to leave behind. Like you said, we watch these videos or once we're gone, our
Yeah.
grandkids or
Right.
great grandkids can watch the videos on how crazy
Hey, there's
we
Dale.
were, but how much we love life.
Yes. Enjoy life. Enjoy
Wow.
life, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. We did talk about your show. You can ask Hannah. We
Online
did. You were one of the shows we gave her, along with
Okay.
Brian's Bigfoot Barbershop. O-line Cryptids.
Yes.
O-line Cryptids. Oh,
Oh,
Jeff, I am bad Vicky. Shit.
Bad
I'm
Vicky.
sorry. Pat, I'm going to
Thank
let
you.
Pat close it out. Pat, you are a wonderful co-host and you're a wonderful friend. I just love you.
Oh, you're the best.
I love her too.
Good people. We have good people.
Angie
Good
and Bud,
times.
you guys were everything that she said you guys were. I love the chemistry between the two of you. I love the adventures and thank you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. It was an honor to have you on.
Boy, no,
Oh.
it was our honor
Yeah.
to be on
Yeah,
here.
like I said, we like
Oh, yes.
it was just like having fun.
I'm
I
kind of
don't want you guys.
on these shows, but this was fun. I was relaxed.
Well,
and,
yeah.
and
I
woodwalking,
told
I
you.
had a blast. It wasn't like being like on the spotlight where I'm like always worried about what's going to come flying out of my mouth. But
No,
it was fun.
Yeah.
You guys-
Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, people.
Pat, I'm gonna let you close.
Oh, you're going to let me close? I
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
thank you all for coming. I want to thank Bud and Angie for being here and sharing. And I would also like to thank Miss V
Yes.
for
Yeah. Thank you, Miss V.
for making it real, for actually making it real. We enjoyed that. And to the wonderful chat, all the good people that I know, Purple Hobbit, I see you. And that's Ryan. And we go way back, and along with Pyro, we go way back as well. So I loved having us being able to share our experiences, and Angie and Bud theirs with you. And we love you. That's it.
Yeah, that makes one of you.
Yeah.
It's time for me to beat him now.
Yeah.
So.
That's
Go
right.
take my beating.
Remember,
That's right.
good.
Wait for Joe. I'll get the bullwhip. We can get them both together. We can knock out two
Remember,
at the same time.
Foundation and powder hides a lot of bruises, Mama.
That's right.
Bye,
And
you guys.
Thank you, Miss V.
And women
I
rule.
was
in
blowing
Bigfoot.
that at Angie, not you, because I'm not.
Oh,
getting
I'm sorry.
punched.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not getting punched in the booger box. Okay.
As long as I can watch.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
I got her on that one. Dropped her head.
Bye. Bye. Stop. Bud, go home. Go in the corner, Bud.